G'day viewers, my name's Graham Stevenson and I'd like to invite you to come on a journey of creativity and learning and adventure through the series Colour in Your Life. There's an artist in every family throughout the world, and lots of times there's an artist deep down inside all of us as well. So grab your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, uncles and mums and dads and come and see how some of the best artists in Australia do what they do.
Well, hi viewers and welcome back to Colour in Your Life. Now you may recognise this absolutely darling human being here, Lucy McCann. It's great to see you again, Lucy. We're back down in Armidale and Lucy and Barry, over the weekend we're going to be doing some work with them with free flow and some of your watercolour techniques, which are going to be sensational. But I think the first time that you actually went on the show, it sort of proved to be so successful for you. You thought we'd better come back and do this again.
It was fantastic. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Colour in Your Life is really going places, very exciting, and I'm pleased to be doing another show, and very different show. I'm going to be using Free Flow, which is a tilia made by Chroma. And first of all, I'd just like to show you where Free Flow sits in the scale of things. So if we put out some oil, we can see where it sits on the palette. This is Atelier Interactive.
Okay.
This is Free Flow, where it sits on the palette, and this is Watercolor.
So they are really different in many senses, aren't they?
They are very different.
Yeah.
This is all burnt sienna, and you can actually see how thick the oil is, not going to move at all.
Mm-hmm.
Interactive acrylic will sit there. Watercolor, until I touch it with water, will sit there. But the Free Flow is able to move quite happily. And that to me is very exciting with the method I'm going to use today with rollers. It is perfect consistency and perfect pigmentation for what I'm going to do today. So let's go to there.
That sounds fantastic.
Today we're going to be doing my favourite spot. It's our local national park and we call it Blue Hole. It's a lovely spot. And I'm actually going to put some magpies in with it. I think it's interesting on its own, but it'd be really interesting if we include some magpies. Barry is a really good photographer and takes heaps and heaps of photos.
Which you need to do.
So I can utilise all this reference material and be able to get quite a good drawing. I like to be quite traditional and I really enjoy the drawing part. To me it's the soothing part. So I draw quite a lot. I hope I can nearly hear them by the time I've finished the drawing. Okay, let's put some paint on here. I'm going to use a translucent gesso first.
And that's the Free Flow gesso?
That is Free Flow gesso.
You can actually see it sort of really falls out of the
It still falls out, yeah, but it's got a nice little bit of grit in it as well. Just going to mix that with my palette life to just have a look what consistency we've got and what colour. The consistency will always be the same because I haven't got any water in here and I'm not going to use any water. That's the beauty of Free Flow. It really moves around just right. And now we get to use one of these big rollers. I will just drop it in the water and dampen it a bit. But now we can just go straight into this.
Wow.
To me, it hardly dries any differently, Graham. It is about the same colour value that it dries. Okay, now I'm going to make a purple mix. So same white I always start with the white because you can get really dark quite quickly. The pigments are very intense, a lot of beautiful pigmentation in them. A little bit of French, just a tiny dash. And mix this around and have a look. You can see the magenta there.
And the thing with the free flow is that it's just so, the pigment is so intense, that you really do not need a lot of it at all.
Well, that was 3 drops of French ultramarine.
There you go.
And 1 of the magenta.
Yep.
And away we go again. Look at that. How beautiful is that? It's a perfect, perfect consistency. And we just pop it on. I really, really love the fact that these paints are Australian owned, Australian made. Mr. Jim Cobb is a great paint maker.
He's a genius, that's what he is.
He is a genius.
And obviously using this technique, you can just literally cover a full-size watercolour sheet quite quickly too.
Yeah, well, this is an oversized piece of Saunders,
Yeah.
which is exciting. Okay.
Lovely.
Now I like to put a border around this sort of work, and the roller is perfectly sized to do that.
It's not a defined edge, you're just really sort of letting the roller do what it needs to do.
That's exactly right, Graham, because once I start painting in here, I might lose some of this edge as well. And it's just a really nice way for me to start my work. I've done it for a lot of years.
Yep.
I think the really good ones now are coming because of the free flow.
Yeah.
It's just that gorgeous consistency to be able to get it on. I haven't had to use water as yet. It's still just free flow in its own consistency.
And it seems to last for such a long time as well.
Yeah, well, there's still a lot there, which I'll just pour back into the bottle.
Yeah.
So we just need to get my easel up right now. So we'll just take a second to do that.
That'd be great. Okay, viewers, well, as you can see, Lucy's actually started drawing out her picture or her landscape.
So I don't think we have to do much more than what I've got on there. That'll give me an idea of where I'm going, where I need shapes. And we can start rolling again.
Okay.
A little bit of yellow ochre and a little bit of light red oxide.
Yeah.
And I think I'll just roll straight with my roller.
But you've got a tiny little roller this time.
It was as big as this, and I've just cut it in half and velcroed it on there, so as it moves for me. And let's just roll some of the trees on there.
And those different colours, just have a look at that.
And the colours will just pop through.
Isn't that so cool?
All right, then we're going to put a little bit of leaves on. So maybe let's go to this pretty yellow, cadmium yellow light. A little of that straight in there. A little bit of phthalo blue. Be very careful with it. It's highly pigmented, and as you probably know, any phthalo loves to jump on the brush.
Yep.
So maybe just 1 drop. And let's just have a little look at this. Just randomly, I want some of that orange to show through. Feel my way here of what's happening with the light. I haven't used water yet, and I haven't washed this out. So this is just all the colours blending with my roller. Okay, that'll probably do for that little section.
So you're actually using this as a bit of granite or something, is it?
It is granite. I like to work on black granite. I have 2, one this side and one this side. Let's use some French ultramarine. It's a little more forgiving than the phthalo blue. And some yellow ochre, just to make this a sort of brown colour, but dark. And we've got a lovely shape in here. Generally, I'm pushing my brush around because I don't want an actual brush mark. I want the value to be there, but I don't want it to look like it's been really applied with a brush. So I tend to push it around a little more than having all hard edges. And this is just giving me a bit more of my drawing to come into play, so as I know where these darks are. I think that's probably going to be okay. And then it's back to the roller. So now we'll just roll these rocks on quite randomly at this point, but also making sure that I've got them covered. Doesn't matter if I can see some of this bottom wash coming through, doesn't worry me. So we need a lot of different values and temperatures on these rocks, but this is just a really good way to get it bulked in quite quickly. I'm now going to show you how to do the water whilst that's drying. So with the water we need this same blue, and we need to roll it on here, just to about here somewhere, and where this is going to be reflecting down, we'll need it a little thicker coming down. Now before it dries we need the spray bottle. This is the first time I've used water in the whole painting, and if I give that a good spray it'll start to run. Now I can also control this with my roller. Nice bit, so don't worry that it runs down too far, because coming over that black is actually quite pretty.
Looks great, doesn't it?
Now I might just get a clean roller and just come through, because I don't want it to be all the same consistency through there. I'm just going to go back up there now and pop some yellow in, and I think it would be better with my brush. So let's go onto my palette now, some yellow ochre and some white, because I didn't want it in that section. This is how you can correct your mistakes. If you've gone a little further than you wanted, it's no worries, you just go back over it. So I can just make some bank colour, a little bit of burnt umber into this mix that we had of our yellow ochre and white. You can push your roller as well if you need to.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to roll. Around here. Now if I've got any runs that are in the wrong spot down here, I can always just go back over them with a little bit of black, because I don't really need that many runs to be down in this section that have come off my page. I think that's just too many. It's just a little bit distracting. I can fix any edges while I'm here with the roller. So there's always back, forth, back, forth. All right, let's just put on some values that are right on my rock now. Remember, I came across too far and it got too cool. I just want to warm that up a little bit. So pushing again with my brush away from me, just going to add some highlight glow, because there's some lovely sections in here where the light's hitting. Now we have to resolve this part in here, and I might just mix some of this green with some of that yellow and cut down to this rock edge, from the rock to the leaves. I'm not really following any definite lines. And then the fun part starts, because we can start to get a little bit of texture on here as well. I always think that Australian landscapes should have a lot of things happening in them. It should be called better than stuff, but a lot of Australian landscapes don't have enough stuff or enough twigs and leaves and everything. They nearly look like they've been hoovered.
Yeah.
So I find it really nice to be able to put a lot of stuff in. So that's where this comes in now. And this is all the little bits of light and the little bits that add to your painting. Okay, now I need to just get my head around doing some more values in these rocks, because they're quite detailed, and so I'm going to paint just for a little bit without talking. I've got a lot of reference of magpies, as we've discussed before, and I'm just going to use this little guy for one that's right back there in the background. So I'm just going to get this little magpie in here so we can start painting. Okay, so little brush now. I really want to get these magpies to be reasonably close to realistic.
Yeah.
So let's put some white on first. They have lovely little sections on their wings, and every magpie has a different definition of white. Isn't that amazing? They all have a different markings. I find that fascinating.
It's like zebras, it's like giraffes.
And us.
And us.
And us. I've got some black out now. I've put a little bit of blue, my original blue mix, in with this.
Is that sort of with the perspective of the colour going back?
Yes, yes, it will definitely be cooling as it's going back. And maybe sometimes even some of that underneath layer of colour that we've got on would be good. Even though he's a long way back, he's still important for me to get some form on him. And so there will be lighter edges, and we don't have to do much with his legs or feet because they'll just fade into nothing.
All right, well, as you can see, Lucy has moved on to create just a beautiful painting, but you've got a few more things you want to do in there, don't you, Lucy?
I do. I actually want to show you two more magpies, and I'm going to paint them for you. So I'm just actually going to draw, I'm using these two here. I'm just going to draw their markings on, so as I've got reference that I can actually paint to.
And there's a really great composition that's been built as they wander back through the picture, the perspective.
And I think you have to tell a story in a painting. That's what art is about. You're trying to tell a story when you're painting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell the story when I'm painting. Okay, so that will be enough drawing. I can put that down. I'll keep my reference here with me, just so as I can see it. And then we'll just start with some black and some white. And I'll just start with the white because it gives us a quick identification as to where they are, the magpies. And sometimes it's not a bad idea to leave some of that blue underneath. I'm being a bit precise just here because they're always very well groomed, the magpies. Now there's a lovely little bit of white on this side of this one. I'll just place in there. Let's head to some darks now so you can see quickly the difference. So into this guy. Now in here it's very dark. This eye, and up here into the beak, it's a lovely section that joins the beak there. It's a linkage section, and they've got very definite markings around their beak. So I'm just going to use a little bit of phthalo blue, a little bit of white and a little bit of black. Place it on and have a try. Beautiful. That's exactly.
You didn't really sort of even mix that then, did you? It just bits and pieces and it all went on.
Yeah, just pick it up and place it. All right, then we can go back to the black. And I can come straight down here. Just tease that in a bit. See, it's still wet there, so it actually blends really, really well.
And also, Lucy, you were in China last year at the 2013-14 Biennale, and there was only 3 Australians in it, is that correct?
That is correct.
And
it was very, very exciting to be able to go across. All 3 Australians went across with their partners, and it was, yes, a very exciting time.
And it's a magnificent catalogue they put together. It's like it's a book really, isn't it? It's incredible.
Unbelievable. They do everything so beautifully. We ate well, we were carted around, and their exhibition space was unbelievable. It was just the most amazing experience.
That's just wonderful, isn't it? And there's just some of the best watercolour artists in the world.
They are the best. It's world, yes. There was 237 out of all the exhibits that were chosen. So it was very, very exciting.
And they do have thousands of entries, I do know that much.
They have lots of countries and lots of entries. So yes, it was a privilege to go over and meet all the different watercolourists from all around the world.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Okay, we need a little bit of burnt sienna now because the magpies have the most lovely, lovely red eyes. So I'm using a little bit of burnt sienna and a little bit of yellow ochre, and I'll just give this one up hint in here of his eye, and this one. And then the beaks are really lovely. They start out here with a nice dark that runs back. I'm a bit concerned about the blue in the top there. I think we need to take it out just a smidgen. All those little things make a big difference to a finished painting, especially if you're doing competition pieces. And I think just have fun painting. Barry and I can be in this studio all day and not say much at all, just for the love of the painting. And if you can get into a painting and really feel your way through it, then it's just a joy. And everybody has that ability in them. It's just whether they're able to do it or not, time-wise.
So these particular paintings in this style, you've got a gallery in Sydney. Is it CWM?
Yes, cwmgalleries.com.
Okay.
He's below the Sheridan. It's a really, really beautiful space. They've been in the business for a long, long time. So yeah, these type of work have taken off down there, which is really nice.
That's great, isn't it? Absolutely, it is.
Yeah. It's really another side of me when people are very used to me doing traditional watercolours. This is very different, but free flow fits the bill for it.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I think I'm just going to do a bit of writing on here because I always label or write the name of my painting on and its series. And then over this side it's called The Gathering.
Okay, well, another fantastic day with a very, very talented lady. Thank you, Lucy, so much for coming along. Just been
Graham.
Absolutely incredible.
Thank you. For the second one, it has been a lot of fun today. I'd really like to thank Colour in Your Life and all the viewers who have been watching all the shows. Fantastic. And I'd like to thank Mr. Jim Cobb, who makes the paint. It is an amazing medium, free flow. All his paint's great. And great fun using it.
Yeah, he's an amazing man, and this really is an incredible paint. And you know, Colour in Your Life has to thank Chroma for everything that they've done for us as well. They've been so supportive, and we really appreciate it. And if you want to see some more of Lucy's fantastic work, you can go to your website, which is
mccannfineart.net.au.
Fantastic. And obviously, if you want to see us, you can go to Facebook, which is Colour in Your Life on Facebook, and colorinyourlife.com.au. We've just opened up a new shop in there as well, so come in and put your paintings up, guys. We're really doing quite well in these days. But until we meet again, remember, make sure you put some colour in your life, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Mm-hmm.